We've seen that many times before in ILR, actually on this very platform, on this very league and tier, so I'm sure we're going to be in for plenty more excitement as we get ready for the cars. Yep, and I believe there will be a formation lap, there usually is, and there should be no reason why there isn't. And are we going for the formation lap? Yes, we are. It was a feature on ILR Xbox, the formation lap, but for a few times it didn't actually occur, the formation lap, so I just had to keep on my toes there before we went to that formation lap. But we do have the cars heading around on the formation lap for the final time on this game, for the final time this season, and we're going on to a new game in F1 2018 very soon. And I've got to ask you, are you looking forward to that one?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, it's a new game. I mean, I get a similar sort of excitement for it that I used to get when I was playing the FIFA series, but which I haven't really played for a few years now. And you know, it's just, I'm glad that some of the noise is coming out in terms of the online is that they're not really changing much. They're just fixing the issues which are in the game instead, except for the license system, which sounds interesting, but probably won't really affect us that much in terms of league racing. But yeah, they're just got to fix things. The slipstream glitch is the critical one for me, because so often someone disconnects by accident, then it just ruins the race, especially on tracks where it's really hard to overtake.
Yeah, I suppose this is one track where perhaps that might not be an issue if someone disconnects. Of course, we had to try and clamp down on people doing that. It really does spoil the action. As you say, hopefully we won't have to worry about that in the new game. But let's just have another quick run through the order. The top 10, all on the Ultra Softs. And then that's where it gets interesting. This is where we want to have a look. Matt Tibos, the first man outside the top 10, not on the Ultras. In fact, everybody outside the top 10 deciding to go on another strategy. Matt in 11th has gone for the Supers. Bugatti in 12th. Supersoft, Calic Wrist, Supersoft. Zeta Mercedes, Supersoft. It's Me, Supersoft. Then, unsurprisingly, Cliffy and Frisky CG on the softs, and VSR Charles on the supers. Now that could really mix up the race, couldn't it? We could see cars getting ahead of the eventual front runners before the pit stop, couldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that could trip up Lewis, except maybe getting a horrible start, is, you know, when he makes his first stop from the Ultra Source, which won't last as long as them, is, you know, falling into traffic behind some of the fast drivers on the alternate strategy. So he's going to have to think about that for sure.
Yep, we'll keep an eye on it. And the car already sitting on the grid, by the way, is CC Brain, who was disqualified. Probably a little touch with someone on that formation lap. No need to be worried about that. He will take the start. So here come the cars onto the grid for the final time this season. Lewis on pole, Brady alongside. Who is going to get the better start into turn one? That is not a good camera angle. I need to try and get that sorted. Come on, give me a better camera angle than that game. Now it's got me on board with Lewis. Okay, that's better. And we now have the 5 red lights for the final time this season. Can Lewis seal the title? Lights out, and away we go in Abu Dhabi. Lewis gets a solid start off pole. Not so for Brady. And alongside comes the thin of Gran already. They go side by side through turn 1. It's uneventful for Lewis. It's exactly what he wanted. He's gone flying off into the lead, and it's a perfect getaway. He leads, Gran in second. Brady drops to third. Nowek fourth, and CC Brain in fifth as they come down to the end of that first sector.
Oh, what a phenomenal launch off the line by Gran, and I was on board with him actually at the start, but he went up through the gears so quickly, and that caught Brady off guard, he got a decent getaway, but it was just nothing compared to the Force India driver, and that's why he dropped down to third. In terms of the midfield, they all behaved themselves, no real contact, haven't seen any wing damage so far.
Yeah, there's all sorts of drama going on in the midfield there. It was like the M6 at Russia were going down through the hairpin there. Now we've got some action, we've got some side-by-side action. The two Haas cars battling with the Sauber of Matt Tibos in the midfield, and now there's more bumping as It's Me and Calic, the two Haas cars, do battle. Francis and Bugatti doing battle further up the road, but Calic and It's Me going side-by-side down towards the end of that second sector. Has Calic got the jump on his teammate? It looks like he has, as the Haas go dueling, and CJ rumbles into the back of him, but no damage done. Really eventful in the midfield, and still side by side go the two Haas drivers, and incredibly I think Calic is going to cling on as It's Me drops back, the two Red Bulls shadowing him in the background. But we need to go back to the front where there's a real battle between Brady and Gordon N. I think Brady, unseen by me, has got back ahead of Gordon N. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it unfortunately, because there was so much going on in midfield, but it happened in sector 3, so Gran must have made a mistake somewhere.
Yep, through goes Brady, and as I've said already in qualifying, it's not really, it's like Monaco without the barrier, similar to Hungary as well, where that final sector is very difficult to make any sort of move, but Brady somewhere has made it work. He is renowned for trying moves that nobody else would try, as VSR Brady, and that's exactly what he's done. Either that or gone in, as you say, may have made an error. It's lap 2 out of 28, and VSR Lewis is doing exactly what he needs to win this title. Remember, his championship rival Michael is not here, as he was at the Hungarian Grand Prix today. Not a bad excuse, is it, going to the Hungarian Grand Prix? So he misses out, and all Lewis needs is 9th position or higher. 9th will draw him level on 204 points, and if he can get that on countback due to the number of race victories, he will be champion. And so far, he's got the perfect start, and he's 1.8 seconds up the road, doing really well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing fantastically well. Just mentioning quickly, there's a furious battle going on between the two Red Bulls. Cliffy and Frisky just exchanging positions. So Cliffy not making the sort of progress that he made at Brazil from the back, but he is past his teammate now, so he's got to get on with it. But all the battling the Haas cars and the Red Bulls were doing that we saw earlier has put them quite a bit behind the lower order of the top 10, but they're starting to regain the initiative.
Yeah, Carrick, of course, I believe it was just inside the top 10, so I don't know what's happened to him. He's not at the greatest of starts, as we go back down through the field to the midfield battle. And we've got contact there between Shimasi and CC Brain. Oh, the Brain, the professor that he is, has gone into a little bit of trouble, and he's got front wing damage. I don't know what happened. He and Shimasi have come together, and now Tao has gone through as well. Sebastian has gone past up into 6th place, and now he fancies a look at the back of Shimasi as the DRS is finally enabled. Brady, of course, 1.8 behind Lewis at the front, and that means, of course, he will not get any DRS, and that's exactly what Lewis would have wanted. But it got a little bit bumpy in that midfield area, and Tao and Shimasi are now up to 5th in sector. Now Lickle as well has gone past the Brain, a wounded Brain. He's in real trouble of dropping right down the order, and it's not a track where you want to be driving with damaged front wing, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, downforce is critical, especially to sector 1, that fast right-hander just before the end of sector 1. If you don't have downforce there, you've got no real chance of keeping ahead of the cars behind, and yeah, Brain will probably be better off to pit rather, because he will lose so much time. Because it's only lap 3, so he's still got plenty of time before he's going to pit for the ultra-softs, because the tyre wear isn't that severe here.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying. He's just going to drop through the field, and now he's dropping into the clutches of his teammate, and the last thing you want to do is just keep dropping down. He maybe have to play the long game, go on a set of soft compound tyres. Will he get to the end on softs from here? Is that something he could do, you think? Yeah?
Ooh, yeah, I think it'd be marginal from here, but, you know, he's going to drop out into a lot of clean air, so yeah, I think he might be able to nurse him to the end. But even though tyre wear is not severe here, I think he'd be pushing it a little bit. Depends how much battling he does, but he's going to have to make a decision soon, that's for sure.
Yep, he does, because pretty soon he's going to have his teammate all over the back of him. Saying that, he's actually got 8 tenths between him and his teammate, which is probably the biggest gap from 5th down to around 14th place. Extremely tight. It has been a feature of ILR1, both on PlayStation and on Xbox, that the midfield is extremely tight, and the Brain is coming in. Oh, that was weird. That was weird. On my camera there it said he wasn't coming in, so there's a little bit of lag with the game there, so apologies for that overreaction to the Brain coming into the pits. He's coming down the pit lane now, and what tyre is he going to put on? Surely a set of softs. Is that supers? It is supers, so yeah, super soft tyres and a new front wing, and that looks like it's going to be a 2-stop race for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Well, it's the last race of the season, so you might as well have some fun. You know, I'd probably do the same as him, to be honest, as it's the last race, and you know, he's not in the championship battle, so why not take the faster tyres and go on the 2-stop and have a bit of overtaking fun?
Well, he's in a bit of trouble. His teammate is getting himself involved in a battle with VSR Francis. They're going side by side down that long back straight, and is he going to try and sweep around the outside? Black Mamba, Francis on the inside, holds position now, running wide, goes, oh, contact there, Black Mamba running wide, rejoined, his car out of control, Bugatti went flying past him up into 9th place, and the battle rages on behind. Look at the train of cars, all battling in the lower reaches of the top 10. Now Calic fancies defending hard here. He's got Matt Tibos going round the outside, and I think Matt might just have clipped back Black Mamba there and damaged his wing. Yeah, there's slight damage to the front wing of Matt Tibos as they go sweeping through the middle sector and now down into the final sector of the lap. Matt now side by side with Calic through this corner. That's going to be incredibly close. It narrows on the way in and they're banging wheels and running wide goes Calic Rest, and that area of circuit, it just tightens on you on the way down there, doesn't it? And it can often lead to collisions, and that's exactly what happened there. But just about keeping their noses clean enough as Gordon N and Nowek further up the field are getting involved in a battle. Let's try and join that. Nowek third now, Gordon N back to fourth. What's happened there?
Well, he was way off the racing line out of the final corner, so he must have had some traction issues. I'm looking at his car, there doesn't appear to be any damage, but yeah, I mean, since that amazing start he had to get up in second, he's just slowly dropped off the pace of the leaders, and now he's down to fourth, but he's slowly falling back into that Gaggle, Carter, Shimasi, Lickle and so on.
Yeah.
They're very close to each other right now.
Very, very close, and as you say that, I pick up Tao, the Austrian driver who had to depart the league for a little while, but it's good to have him back racing. A big fan of him, and he's heading down into the braking zone up behind Vault Lickle, but there's no way through. It's a bit of a DRS train at the moment, isn't it? Everyone's cancelling each other out, but the DRS is Calic now has another look up the inside of Matt Tibos, and is he through up into 11th place as the camera shoots through your screen? Yes, he is up into 11th. Matt back to 12 with that wounded car, but he's coming straight back at Calic. He defends the inside. Matt Tibos with that front wing damage tries to move towards the inside. He'll be forced to the outside, I think. He decides better of it and hold station in 12th place. Frontline damage for him. We've already seen what's happened to the brain. Would it be a good idea for Matt Tibos to pit? Less so, because he's on the super soft tyre and he needs to stretch that stint out, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think Matt's going to have to try and nurse it. It's a slightly different situation to CC Rain because he's not. But again, it's the last race season, so maybe you want to get some clean air and just go for one. Maybe even go on the softs for a bit and then go on the ultras at the end. But yeah, wing damage, we've seen several examples already. If you get any sort of wing damage here, it just massively compromises you. And there he goes, into the pits.
Yeah, Matt Tibos into the pits then, so he decided against that. It's a bit of a compromise for him with those super soft tyres. Obviously the ultras for a pit stop, as we've seen with the brain, would have been a no-brainer. Sorry for that one, lads, sorry for that pun. But yeah, Matt Tibos into the pits, and what tyre is he going to put on? Will it be a set of the soft compound? Will it be a set of the supers again? He's going on to the ultras, so there you go. He's also feeling that he has to go two-stop from here. Doesn't want to use those softs. No, he is onto the softs. So sorry, that's just the game playing up with us again. So he has chose the softs, and he will try to make the end of the race from here. I think it will be a long, hard slug, but he might be able to make it from here. We'll keep an eye on it, won't we?
Yeah, I have to bring you up on that pun you just made. It's a good thing you're a great commentator, because I don't think you have much of a career as a comedian based on that material.
Oh, cheers for that. You're supposed to back me up, come on. As Cliffy makes his move on It's Me and dances up into 12th place. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to do some research, I'm going to do my work, and hopefully next week I'll come back with a better pun. How does that sound?
Well, there is no next week, it's the end of the season.
Oh, for good, I'm having a nightmare. Very, very good point, very good point. You're keeping me on my toes, that's for sure. So let's me then, just losing out there to VRT Cliffy as he moves up into 12th place. But yeah, I'll just leave the puns out of it, and I'll research the calendar, because that's, of course, the end of the season, the final race. And Lewis, 3.4 seconds now. His advantage out front, and it looks like he's cantering off into the distance to wrap up that world title, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's calmed down slightly in the midfield, so I've just been watching him, and he's in the zone at the moment. Just looks so calm and collected. I mean, he could be winning 2 championships in 2 major league setups over the next 24 hours, including this one, and just looks in a world of his own at the moment. I mean, as I say, the only real threat is when he pits and he falls into some traffic, but he can just wait till everyone else pits. So that would be the safe thing to do. But yeah, just brilliant from him so far. Yep,
absolutely right. And will any of those super soft runners and soft runners go long enough? They're certainly close enough. The field is extremely tight after 7 laps. There's every possibility that if Lewis was to pit, he would come out behind quite a lot of those super soft and soft runners, right down to perhaps even Frisky CJ in 15th place. So he obviously can't go too long. He can go long, but he can't go too long to risk a puncture. So there's every chance he's going to be behind the likes of Bugatti, who'll be going long, Calic, Cliffy, It's Me. Frisky CJs in our series, so all those cars will be causing him issues in that sense, you would think, pretty soon, unless he can stretch that gap out further and further and further. But it's going to be difficult for him. Let's pick up Lico as he chases down Shimasi in the battle for 5th and 6th. Ferrari against Force India. Is Lico going to have a look in the brakes down here? Now, as I've mentioned, it is a corner that tightens up on you. If you're on the outside, just the nature of the corner, the car on the inside, if you go side by side through there, drifts out wide, doesn't he? So often if you see a move there will be contact, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a very brave person, or driver rather, to make a move there, but we've seen several attempts already, so they're not leaving anything out there. I mean, it's such a tight field at the moment. It's literally just over 20 seconds from 1st to 15th, so yeah, pit stops are going to be really key, and judging that traffic. But yeah, sector 3, it's not a particularly interesting part of the track, but it does keep, this track seems to have a strange nature to it, that it keeps everybody really tightly together, and I see that consistently in every sort of league race I've ever seen here. Yeah,
absolutely, and I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you who else is really tightly put together. Novak and VSR Brady. Oh, we got an incident? What's up?
Lickles has spun out the hairpin and he's lost half his wing. He just went on the power a bit too early, and yeah, he was running really nicely and sick, but yeah, I just caught it. But yeah, that was a unforced error from Lickle, unfortunately.
Yep, and meanwhile that was happening, Nowak has just got the move done on VSR Brady, so that's now a Toro Rosso 1-2, but Brady, the Irishman, is coming back. He's always got fire in his belly, and he's going to go attacking down the outside. Can he find a way through? Nowak goes a little bit deep into the corner. That allows Brady to have a cutback attempt, but they're going through that triple chicane, and there's no way through, and Nowak is now up into second. It's a Toro Rosso 1-2. Does he have the pace to hunt down his teammate and cause him problems, or is he simply acting as a rear buffer to hold everyone back? It's all slotting into place for VSR Lewis as Nowak moves past Brady with a lovely move at the end of that long straight, defended well, and Brady had no answer, and he now has to worry about going in behind in 4th. Great stuff from Nowak. Not so for Lickle though, as you mentioned, dropping down to 9th place. A little spin at the hairpin, you said.
Yes, he just put all the power on too much. He was chasing Shimasi, but then it looks like Brady pits and Gonan, so the first of the leaders sort of pitting.
Yep, and soft compound tyre.
And super softs for Gonan.
Oh,
so differing strategies there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it, to see that? But 9 laps so far on the Ultras. I would be surprised if the Supers went to the end from here. That would require double the tyre life of the Ultras to this point, wouldn't it? So pretty much double. So I would be amazed if they got to the end. So is that a 2-stop perhaps being decided by Gonanen? Is he going to go aggressive and see what he can do? It certainly looks like Brady is going for the soft compound tyre, and he's going to go for a 1-stop strategy to the end of the Grand Prix. It is one of the few tracks on the calendar, isn't it, where you can see a difference in strategy. A lot of them are straightforward 1-stop races, and that might be a feature as well in the new game, with all the tyres being 1 stage softer, that we might see more of this variation in strategy. That will be something to look for, but it's good to see it being played out here in this race in Abu Dhabi. I would say that Hungary is another one where you often see a difference in strategy.
Yes, I hope we see more differing strategies in the next game, because too many of the races I think are 1-stop, which I know it is the same in real life, of course, but I like to see a little bit more strategy. I think if there's a close gap between the 1-stop and the 2-stop, that's good, because then again traffic can play quite a big role, whereas in this game you lose often too much time on the 2-stop at most tracks.
Yep, you do, and Lewis has now chose the time is now to come into the pit, so if it's a clean stop, it's his final stop of the season, you would think, and that's another hurdle negotiated as he comes down now into the box. He's managed to get away with no speeding in the pits. All these things he needs to be considered, and he's gone for the conservative option, which of course would be the 1-stop strategy and the soft compound tyre, and he will now run to the end of the at the end of the race. And how many of those long runners is he out behind? Bugatti's one of them, Calic's one of them, Cliffy's one of them. What about ZR Mercedes? That's going to be close between him and ZR Mercedes. He's ahead of ZR Mercedes, so he's cleared ZR Mercedes. It's me and Frisky ZJ from those cars going long, but he does still have to get through Cliffy, Calic and Bugatti, and that will be his next big challenge, won't it?
Yeah, I mean he has dropped right into the middle of that pack, and Francis and Bugatti going side by side. So I think Novak will be pitting very shortly, because Brady's really undercutting him considerably the last couple of laps.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes as we watch Bugatti and Francis go side by side. Goodness me, what a duel that is. It was like Colin McRae dirt rally coming out of the exit of that corner there as Bugatti now goes defensive. Francis forced to go the long way round as he approached the braking zone at 195 miles an hour, and Bugatti has the inside. Francis isn't giving it up though. Oh, brilliant stuff between the two. There's slight contact and Francis drops off, and he tried his best to get back at Bugatti, but there was no way through, and Bugatti steams past him, and now that drops Calic onto the tail now of Francis. And meanwhile, most importantly, Lewis is in that tussle too, and he needs to be extremely careful he doesn't get any damage or any terminal damage in this battle. He just needs to bide his time. Remember, he doesn't need to win the race, he simply has to finish it 9th or higher, and when there's 18 cars in the field, there's every chance he could finish outside that with any front wing damage, given how tight the field is. How would you approach it? You've got to be careful, don't you?
Yeah, he doesn't need to be aggressive. He just needs to. His teammates just pitted, so he has got the net lead at the moment. But yeah, you know, he's got several drivers ahead who are going to be going for several more laps, and they are battling hard, Cliffy and Kalek. So he's just got to, you know, bide his time. If he can overtake, great. If there's a clear opportunity, but he doesn't need to be aggressive here. He's got to think of the long game, the championship.
He absolutely does, and just to strengthen his hand even further, I saw Brady there and Shimasi both picking up 3-second time penalties, so that just strengthens his grip on that lead position. But here comes Lewis. Is he going to try and do anything about this in front, or is he going to sit with the popcorn and keep a watching eye? Here we go, down the straight towards the braking zone. Is he going to go up the inside of Cliffy? He is going to roll it in, you know, and he's going to have a look up the inside. Cliffy knows he's there, and is he going to get him on the exit of the corner? He should have the traction, he should have the tyre life, and he should have third place, and indeed he does. Up he goes past Cliffy, and that was brave, wasn't it, to go and make that move, and he's done it.
It was brave, but I think, you know, he and Cliffy, they know each other well, so I think he knew Cliffy would give him the space. He may not have tried it against certain other drivers. It seems like Andy's lost his controller for a second there, so we'll be back shortly. So it's going to be radio ILR for the next few moments. Lewis is in third, and Kalek is really struggling for rear traction now.
Yeah.
So I think Lewis will make quick work of Kalek. These two Supersoft runners, they'll be pitting fairly soon, I would imagine. Cliffy still running at a good fourth at the moment. Just having a look, where's Brady? Brady is behind Gonan, so yeah, Gonan on the alternate strategy has passed Brady on the Supersofts.
And Brady's got another 3-second time penalty and getting another place as Lewis into turn one. Apologies for losing that there with the controller issue, but we are back live. A little bit of radio ILR, why not? We'll go digital, we'll go radio, we'll go YouTube, we'll go everywhere, why not? As Kalek and Cliffy go side by side down towards the end of that first sector, but Lewis has managed to make up another crucial place and only one more barrier, and his way is Cliffy has a lunge up the inside into the hairpin on Kalek. That was ballsy, that was brave, and they continue to trade paint down the straight. Beautiful racing there. Surprised Kalek seen him coming, and Cliffy looks like he's got that move done. The DRS open for both cars seemingly, going down towards the end of this long straight, and as Cliffy got the upper hand, Kalek brings extremely late. Wonderful racing between the two, but Cliffy finally puts his stamp on third position and climbs up another position. Good racing there, but here comes Lewis, and this is crucial for the championship. The final hurdle he has to negotiate, and that is Bugatti, and that is negotiated, and surely odds have shortened even further on a Lewis world title. He's got the job done, he's been careful, he's been calm, he's been methodical, and he now leads this race with 16 to go. All he has to do now is pray he has no connection issues and keep that car on the Yas Marina Island.
Yes, I mean, he's dealt with the traffic with consummate ease in a really professional, calm, patient style, and now he's got no obstacles, as you say. He's just got to bring it home. But there's still a lot of laps to go. It only takes one little mistake and you could end up in the barriers, so he's still got half the race to go, but it's looking very good for his championship as he sets the fastest lap to boot.
Yeah, he really is starting to stamp his authority on this race and on this World Championship. They'll be getting the engravers out pretty soon, I believe. He's doing a superb job as Kalek, Bugatti, Cliffy and ZR Mercedes are all still in that little battle between those guys. Those guys that qualified, of course, outside the top 10, yet to make a pit stop, as you can see, as I load that up in the graphic for you. Bugatti, Cliffy, Kalek, ZR Mercedes and It's Me all yet to stop. Frisky CG as well, who's a little bit further back from the group. But gone and in now. is well ahead of Brady, and I think Brady at some point has damaged the wing and had to come into a pit for a pit stop. And I've said it before, he gets involved in the thick of the action, and it's happened once again as we go to Gran on the attack down the inside of It's Me. That's Candy from a baby. Easy stuff. DRS move, and of course fresher tyres, and he takes that 6th place away with ease from It's Me. So lovely from Gran. He is now the main challenger, it would seem, to VSR Lewis, and at the moment it's not much of a challenge because there's about 4 cars between him and the race leader and almost championship winner.
Yes, seems like Gona may have to pit again. So actually, Novak for me is in the net 2nd place. It's looking good for a Toro Rosso 1-2. With all this traffic, Lewis is going to have a massive advantage. Even if Gona can get this car to the end, he's going to lose a lot of time. But I suspect the likes of Kalec and ZR Mercedes, they'll be pitting soon, I would imagine, to complete their 1 stop. Clippy, I think he'll be going for a while soon, and he's really putting Bugatti under pressure now.
Yeah, he's right on the back of Bugatti. Those soft tyres have reached the point where they're a better tyre to be on than the super softs, and he proved that the point is proven as Bugatti's had enough of them. He's coming into the pits, and will he fit softs? I think he might, to run to the end of this Grand Prix. Surely it would be asking a little bit too much of a set of ultra softs to go that far. So Clippy now up into 2nd place. It'll be really interesting and fun, I would say, to watch how Clippy gets on, as actually Bugatti's gone for the ultra soft tyre. So that's asking a real challenge to go to the end, isn't it? That
is a bold choice from the Renault team, and he nearly actually smashes into the pit exit, but luckily he gets away with it. But yeah, no, he's gonna, if he's gonna be battling cars, he's gonna have a massive tyre advantage over some people. But if he can get these to the end, that's an impressive achievement strategy-wise.
Yeah, it will be, as the battle continues to rage on from the non-stoppers, and ZR Mercedes is on the attack. He's on the outside. They're actually 3 wide as they approach the braking zone. Oh, that's incredible. ZR Mercedes gets the short straw. He's squeezed out and he remains somehow in 5th place. Going in on a charge through this pack of cars who have yet to stop. He's now up into 3rd position, and only Cliffy now between he and Lewis, and then a bit of a gap as well, around 7 seconds at the moment between he and Lewis. Cliffy 5 seconds off the leader, 2.4 between Cliffy and Gordon, and he continues his charge. But quite a battle developing now between those guys yet to stop, isn't it? And it's quite enjoyable to watch, and I can't wait until we see them come charging through on the Ultrasofts towards the end. That'll be fun, won't it?
Yeah, it will be very fun. I'm going to keep an eye on Bugatti, see what his relevant pace is like. He's already caught up with Mass and Black Mamba, so he could be gaining some positions straight away. Still quite a few cars who haven't pitted. We've got 5 cars who haven't pitted as it stands. Frisky and TC Brainiac with a bit of a scrap at the moment for 8th place. Yeah, they sure are, and side by side they go into the penultimate corner, and sweeping around the outside goes CC Brain up into 8th place. He's in a good recovery drive, isn't he? Remember that early pit stop for that front wing damage. He's now up into 8th. That will be what, a net 3rd or 4th pretty soon. So that Lewis gone in, then Nowak, so that would be what, net 4th position perhaps for CC Brain. So you'll be delighted with that. What a recovery that would be for him. So yeah, he's going to have to go along though, and I think he might be under a little bit of pressure, quite vulnerable later on those old tyres. In fact, no, he's going to pit again, isn't he? Because he went for super softs. Of course, apologies. Yes, yeah, CC Brain, he's had some fun out there, but yeah, he is going to have pit again. So I think he's got a shot though, getting some decent points at the end of the race. But I think you have to pit soon. Bugatti has already passed Matt, and now he's about to pass Black Mamba, probably with ease, given the tyre advantage he's going to have. Yeah. Up to 13th, he will go. Yep, and meanwhile Nowak's just put a move on Kalec wrist himself, so a lovely move from Nowak there. Kalec tried to defend it extremely hard going into the braking zone, but Nowak got the job done, and he's now up into 4th position, net 3rd when Cliffy pits, of course, as we now, oh dearie me, CC Brain left the session, connection issue. That's a real shame for him. I mean, just talking about him there, does that go down as a commentator's curse, do you think? I think so. Oh, contact between Bugatti and Black Mamba, and Bugatti's had to skip over the chicane. I'm not sure. Well, I guess you argue that there was contact, but I think he might have to have given the place back, but he's not going to, so we'll carry on. Yeah, CC Brain, I just noticed he was lagging a little bit earlier on. So back. It might be an inherent connection issue he's had since the start.
And now Frisky CJ as well, getting all out of shape, almost brushing up against the wall on the exit of the hotel section, and that left him easy prey for VSR Francis. He moves up into 8th, but quite a gaggle of cars beginning to develop here. Francis now up to 8th, CJ 9th, and Shimasi and Tau battling over 10th and 11th places. They go zooming through your shot into the first corner, and then climbing up the hill side by side. Look at that! Whoa, I've never seen a move there. And Tau, the Austrian driver, puts one on Shimasi. Goodness me, have you ever seen a move through turn 2 and 3? I don't think I have. Brilliant stuff.
Well, I have in the past, but it's usually ended up in a massive crash, so that was ballsy from Tao to take the place like that, and he will certainly have a bit of a grin on his face after doing that one. That was a see you later moment. Yeah, wow, beautiful stuff. So Shimasi, and somehow seen him coming, ended up off the road and got away with it. Goran has now got himself past Cliffy, it would seem, over the second, unseen by us, our cameras, and Goran now 8 seconds behind Lewis. He's got 12 laps to close that in. It's an uphill challenge. Will he be able to do it before the end of the race? It's certainly going to be one to watch, as Tau now lines up Frisky CJ around 4/10 behind him after putting on what, in my opinion, is probably the move of the race so far on Shimasi through turns 2 and 3. So now up into that final sector of the lap. Is there any way for Tau to make a move? You would probably think usually it would be difficult, but given that CJ's been on those 16 laps, I think it's going to be pretty simple for Tau as they go to sweeping round this long right-hander and into the braking zone. And Frisky CJ just about clinging on. He's a little bit out of shape on the curb there as well, and this is where he got caught out last time round running wide, but at this time he keeps it all together, and Tau is unable to make that move. Nowek as well has got ahead of Cliffy, who's come into the pits. And are we going to see CJ on this lap? We are. Several drivers in the pits. We've got Cliffy, Calic, Zenna Mercedes and It's Me all in the pits, and that is going to bring a really exciting finish to this Grand Prix with all those drivers going on to a set of ultras. They'll be charging through the field, won't they? Oh, absolutely. Bugatti, he pitted a bit early and he's got quite a big undercut, so he's now running in a fine 7th, and he's right behind Shimasi.
Oh, look at that, round the outside he goes, and there's contact between them, and oh dearie me,
more contact. Oh no, yeah, that's wing damage for Bugatti as well, and Shimasi's been taken out.
Yeah,
it looks like a very clumsy.
Yeah, clumsy. He tried to sweep round the outside, trying to hold it on, but Shimasi, their lines crossed in the second part of the chicane, round which Shimasi and Bugatti has got the front wing damage, and that's going to put an end to his charge. And look at this behind. We're going to go 3 wide almost into the braking zone. Cliffy with Shimasi and Lickle all battling, and Shimasi, as if dropping 1 place wasn't enough, he's going to drop another 2. He drops right down to 9th place, and he's now going to be under threat from Black Mamba as well. And Mamba right onto his tail he goes in the battle for 9th position. Shimasi having an awful lap, collected by Bugatti, overtaken by Cliffy and Lickle, and pretty soon Black Mamba as well. And Cliffy, you know what, he's not lost that many places. He could really come charging through here, couldn't he? Up to perhaps even as high as 4th or 5th.
Yeah, well, just like Brazil, he's had another solid race from the back of the grid, and Bugatti's got wing trouble, so you know Cliffy should be able to get past him for 6th, and then give chase to the likes of Tao, Francis, and who knows, the driver's currently in 2nd place. We don't know if he has to pit again. Oh,
a big moment there for Brady. Brushing up against the wall. Yeah, but Goran might have to stop again. That's another very good point. He was in very early. As a little bit of contact there from Brady. He's getting right up and personal with the back of Mamba. And is he going to try and make a move into turn 1? Brady, who is a fiery character, we've mentioned it already, started on the front row, has dropped down for the field due to various issues, and is now on the charge once more. And in the traffic, sometimes people are critical of him. He's not patient enough. Has that been the case today? We didn't see his incident where he damaged the wing. Perhaps it was, perhaps it wasn't. But we're now going to keep an eye on him and see if he can make a move on Black Mamba. He's going to triangle round the outside, then cut back onto the inside, get on the throttle nice and early, and go down the long back straight. He will have the DRS to his advantage as they go open the DRS now. But the problem is that the car in front also has got the DRS, but he's still going to try and make a move. He sweeps to the outside now, but there's no way through, and he remains down in 11th place. But oh, was that a contact behind that there? It certainly looked like it. Oh, there's definitely contact now, and that's Calic and Matt Tibos rubbing wheels, and that was neither of their finest moments, was it? Messy.
No, that was more like something out of GP3 than Formula 1. It was very clumsy. I think it's getting a bit tetchy out there. I think people are wanting to, you know, leave a mark on this season, even literally before this season ends. But Cliffy incidentally just passed Bugatti's wounded Renault, so he's up to 6th now, and he's lapping quite significantly faster than Tao up for 5th. So I think 5th, 4th is certainly not out of the question for Cliffy at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely not. Cliffy in 6th position at the moment, and he's on a charge. It was a little bit messy between Calic and Matt. I think they both sustained front wing damage as a result, and they're still getting very, very close, and Calic damages the wing further as Matt comes in, and now Calic decides he's coming in as well. Now they're racing down the pit lane. They might have a few things to say between one another very soon, as Brady has now left the session, so I don't know what's happened to him. Disconnected perhaps, down in 10th position, not having a fine afternoon, is he? And Brady, I think, how would you read Brady? Do you think he's someone that has got the pace, got the talent, just needs to calm down a little bit? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think he was getting really frustrated just from the driving behind Black Mamba. So I don't know. Maybe he called it a day. I'm not sure that was a disconnect, to be honest with you. But we'll find out soon enough. But his race was compromised, unfortunately. Apparently contact with Frisky, apparently, who dive bombed on him, but that's, again, we didn't see that. I think Brady's had a frustration, but yeah, he's certainly quick enough. I mean, from his qualifying speed, yeah, so he'll be looking to next season just to have a bit more luck and just pick his spots a bit better. Yep,
well, not long to go in this Grand Prix, 9 laps left, and Brady has departed. Hopefully next season he can come back stronger, and maybe there will be no contact and he can get on with his race. But Cliffy now moving into position for a run at Tau. He's coming charging back through the field, isn't he, from that lowly starting position, and once again perhaps a contender for drive of the day, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Once again he just seems to be able to make these alternate strategies work where others can't. It just shows how impressive a driver he is.
Yep, and he's now on the move on Tau. He's going to try and sweep round the outside, and that was easy. That was almost Tau letting him go there, wasn't it? Just Tau thought, okay, you're the quicker driver. I need to protect this 6th position from the guys behind, and with the 8 laps to go, 3.5 to Lico. And was that a clever move from Tau there? Just let Cliffy go? It certainly looked like he did. He didn't fight it hard enough into turn 1, did he?
No, he didn't fight it at all, but I think he probably felt that it was going to be a losing battle, and he's still got a 3.5 second gap to Lickle behind. So, yeah, 6th would be a really good position for him. Cliffy now on the charge for VSR France is up ahead, and again we still got that question: can the driver in 2nd place, can he, finish the race? He's been on the softs a long time, super softs rather, a long time.
Yeah, gone really, really long in this stint, and I'll be amazed if he can get them to the end. It'd be a good job if he does, as Black Mamba now battling with Shimasi down at the chicane, and then onto this long back straight. Is there going to be any way through for that McLaren driver? DRS open. Shimasi doesn't have a car in front to give him the DRS, so he might be a little bit vulnerable here. Daniel Ricciardo likes them but vulnerable. Does Black Mamba like them vulnerable? He does. He's through up into 8th position, and Shimasi drops down to 90. Tried his best to brake late, it wasn't enough, and Black Mamba is through up into 8th place now. So a good drive from him to get up into the top 8. And it's all about Cliffy now. 7/10 between him and Francis. He's on an absolute mission through the field. Just a quick word: if you're watching in the stream and enjoying the action out on track, feel free to let us know who your driver of the day is. We like to be interacting with you guys watching the stream, so let us know who your driver of the day is. Of course, we've still got 7 and a bit laps to go of the Grand Prix. You might want to hold back that decision a little bit longer. I'll even give you a little bit of the graphic there so you can see who's gained positions. As you can see, Cliffy, as I've mentioned, up 11 places from his starting position, about to be 12 it would seem on Francis, who himself has made 6 places so far. So a few drivers doing a great job this afternoon, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, I think Lewis has had a flawless drive so far, but it's sort of mixed up a little bit. Some of those who qualified high up in the order have had a bit of a shocker, which given the opportunity for points as well. But yeah, Cliffy, another outstanding drive from outside top 10. It looks like he's about to go up to 4th as well.
Yep, they're touching wheels, they're rubbing really hard, and Francis wants to defend it as best he can, but he can do no more. As Gran picks up a 3-second time penalty, Cliffy moves up a 12th position in this Grand Prix, past Francis, up into 4th position. What a brilliant drive once again from Cliffy. It is becoming a bit of a regular theme now from Cliffy. Every single week he does this. And I've got to ask this question. I know he's not in a championship fight, so he's out there to have a bit of fun. Surely next season he's got to go and try and qualify high up and take the championship to the likes of Lewis and Michael, or as you said earlier, he doesn't maybe have the pace to beat them a lot of the time. So do you think that's why he does it? Do you think maybe next season he's got to try and qualify high and stop battling through the field? How would you read it?
Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting. The new game will suit certain drivers, and those who are quick on this game, it might not suit them. So it's going to be a clean slate for everybody. So Lewis may be imperious right now, but the new game might not be to his liking. So it's almost pointless talking about what they're going to be like on this game, because we'll have to wait and see what they're going to be like on the next one.
You're absolutely right. There's every chance that the order could be shuffled up. I remember many times racing with a lot of friends in racing games that I'd be slower than them one game, then the next game I was a second quicker than them. It was just the way it goes, isn't it? And I'm sure the drivers will all be racing hard on that new game when it comes out. Of course, it's out in around a month's time, so I'm really looking forward to the new season and to see if Lewis can what looks like defend his crown. He's not won it yet, but he's got a 10-second lead over Gran and has only got 6 laps to go for that all-important crowning moment. Can he cling on and wrap up the title? Even a disconnect from the session now would probably be enough for him to get to the end in 9th. I'm sure he would rejoin quick enough to get on with it. He just simply has to keep that car on the island. As I ride on board with ZR Mercedes on those ultra soft tyres, that late stop of course onto the tail of Shimasi, as he about to climb up into 9th position and double his points tally for this race from 1 to 2. So 2 points for 9th, a point for 10th, and that's what they're battling over at the moment. Shimasi still holding firm, having lost out to Black Mamba, a few laps to go, and ZR Mercedes closing onto his tail. Interestingly, Tau is also getting close to making a move on Francis, who also just recently lost out to Cliffy as well. So a few battles developing in the closing moments, isn't there?
Yep, there's quite a lot of mixed strategies. Just mentioning Gunnan, and he's really struggling for front grip now. He's really struggling to put the traction down on some of these corners, and now he's dropped to now 10 seconds behind Lewis. I think it's a sign that those super softs are starting to die off. So it could be touch and go for him to reach the end of the race.
Yep, it will be touch and go for Gunnan, and that will give Novak something to fight over. I'm sure he'll be getting information about Gunnan's pace. So will he be able to? Has he in the soft tyres got enough tyre life to close in? Certainly one to watch. I think Cliffy's settled into that 4th position now. I think he knows there's not going to be much more in it for him. 5 laps left, 12.5 seconds back. I think that's as far as he's going to get in this Grand Prix. So he's settled into 4th position. Tau Sebastian, of course, we're watching him at the moment, getting closer and closer to Francis, but at the moment not ready to make a move, as both those cars, Ferrari power units, Ferrari of course powering their own car and supplying an engine to Sauber, but of course on the game it is equal cars, so there's no difference in power units, and in the league there is that level playing field, as ZR Mercedes looks like he's finally got that move done on Shimasi. They're touching wheels there. I've just caught the tail end of that, and through he goes. The Renault now moving past and into 9th place. 3 seconds up the road is Black Mamba. He's on a tyre 2 stages softer, but I'm sure those ultras will be starting to get a little bit past their best, won't they? And it might be a bit of an uphill task to get past Black Mamba. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would have really been interested to see if Bugatti had not made contact with Shimasi, if he had been able to get those ultras from lap 14 to the end of the race. That would have been very interesting to see, doing half the race on one set of ultras, but we never got to find that out, unfortunately. But again, the tyre wear's not too bad at this particular track, so some of them are pushing these tyres too much further than perhaps we expected. Yeah,
they are, and a perfect example of that is of course Gunnan. I mean, Novak's catching him, but he's not catching him hand over fist as we might have expected, so a bit of a strange one that. Gunnan doing a really good job holding those tyres together. I think what he'll be most concerned about is any threat of punctures creeping into the latter stages of this Grand Prix. 4 laps to go. I mean, we've seen it before, that if you take the tyres just that little bit too long, even if you've got reasonable pace in them compared to the others around you, you can still end up with a puncture. So we'll keep an eye on Gunnan, but as you said, tyre wear is generally not too bad around here, so he should, fingers crossed, get that car to the end. But it's about whether he can stay ahead of Novak, but at the moment he appears to have all the answers at the moment. So let's have a look at It's Me. Is he now going to deny Shimasi that final point? And Shimasi, he'll be extremely disappointed to come away from this Grand Prix with nothing. If it ends up being that, I'm supposed to be disappointed coming away 10th, of course, because he qualified extremely well up in that 4th position. And I don't know what's happened today to Shimasi. He certainly came back fighting after a poor season, it has to be said, by his standards. He's been in the midfield for much of it, but to qualify 4th was a great result for him, and unfortunately he's gone into a bit of a slump as the race has gone on. So he was extremely disappointed, and it's about to get even worse, because I think it's pretty much odds on that It's Me's going to make a move, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, well, he had that incident with Bugatti early on, that cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, of course.
Now, incidentally, Novak is now in position to finish 2nd place because of penalties, so he's within that 3-second window.
Yep, of course, very good. Well, good spot as It's Me picks up a 3-second time penalty, and Novak himself picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that wipes that out of the picture, that penalty for Novak. So he'll have to get the job done on the circuit. I mean, there has been quite a few penalties. Apologies if we don't tally them up right, and we had a surprise at the end of the Grand Prix, but I believe Gran will be remaining 2nd as a result of that. Where else is there a battle on track as It's Me continues to struggle to find a way past Shimasi? I think we'll go to that battle for 5th place, which is really starting to hot up now. It appears that Lickelblocks has managed to slither his way onto the tail of Tau, and if Tau doesn't get that move done on Francis quickly, he might be under a bit of pressure as Frisky CG is retired from the race. Is that an accident? Oh, it is.
Yeah, huge moment I think he's had just before the end of Sector 1, but yeah, that's another retirement from the race. We haven't had too many, actually. We've had some disconnects, of course, but that's the only actual retirement we've had. Well, Charles disconnected earlier on, of course.
Yep, that's a real shame for him. So out goes Frisky CG as we watch Tau have a look at Francis. Francis with a late dart just before the braking zone. He'll get away with that in defence, but Tau is all over him, and Tau now knows he has to get that move done quickly because Lickel is waiting in the wings, and Lickel is right behind him as Tau gets all over the curb and allows Lickel to get that little bit closer. The Pink Panther is ready to pounce. It's Francis 5th, Tau in 6th, and Lickel in 7th as they all go battling in the final few laps of this Grand Prix. Who do you think is going to come out on top? What do you think? I'm going to go for Tau. No, I'm not. I'm going to go for Lickel. No, I'm going to go for Francis. I've got no idea. What do you think?
Well, Francis is defending pretty gamely. He's held Tau behind for quite some time now, and Tau's tyres are much fresher. But Lickel, this is the kind of situation that in the past, sometimes he makes the wrong decisions. So I think he's just got to bide his time, try and get past Tau, then he's got a shot for 5th place. But Lickel's the kind of person who will try and overtake everybody in one move rather than just being a bit more sensible. So hopefully he has his racing brain on right now. But Novak has actually closed within 2 seconds of Gran, so those super softs on the 2nd place drivers are really starting to go off.
Yeah, 2 seconds now for Novak. He's not falling off a cliff, but he's certainly dropping into the clutches slowly of Novak as we continue to watch this battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. Francis, Tau and Lickel all darting down that long back straight, and is Tau close enough now to make a move? Francis goes defensive. That's going to compromise his exit in a few moments' time. Tau is going to try and get a good run heading down this back straight, and he's right in position now to make that move. Here comes Tau, sweeping down the long back straight they go. Look at Lickel waiting in the wings for any contact. Tau is going to have a little look up the inside. He's going to have to go to the outside. He's forced that way, and now there's contact as Lickel tries to sweep around the outside. There's no space for him, and somehow they remain in the same order they were before they approached the corner. Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah, great battle. I mean, Francis, you got to give him credit. Despite having not as good tyres as the 2 cars behind, he's placing the car beautifully to keep ahead of these 2 rampaging cars who desperately want his 5th place before the end of the final race.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen at the moment. Francis, as you said, defending gamely, defending well, parking his car in all the right places, on the limit of what's acceptable in defence, it has to be said. He's darting a little bit in the braking zone, or just before the braking zone, and allowing Tau, leaving Tau with no idea what's going to happen next, with nowhere to go, a little bit indecisive. But certainly on the 2nd long back straight, he made sure in his decision he would force Tau to the outside, and that left Tau and Lickel scrambling on the exit of the corner. So great defending from Francis up until now. What about this time as they go sweeping down at the end of that first sector into that stadium-like section? All the fans watching on the edge of their seats, loving this action at the end of this brilliant ILR1 season. Lewis looks like he's got the title in the bag, but here comes Tau again onto the back of Francis. It's the 3rd or 4th time they're going to go racing down the straight in close proximity. Is Tau going to make a move on Francis? Francis again defends the middle of the road this time, then defends late to the outside, and then Tau tries to sweep round the outside. Can the Austrian do it? There's slight contact. Will that allow Lickel to get involved? involved. Oh, Little's round. Oh, he let up the throttle just a little bit too soon to try and have a look at the back of Tao. He drops down for the field. Oh, that was crazy, crazy stuff. Absolutely brilliant to watch. But Little, he got in the car, he unsettled the car and just let up the throttle a little bit too soon. Well, unfortunate, but great to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Lewis has started his final lap, and Novak is within DRS range of Gunnanen in the battle for second place. So I think they've got the same amount of penalties. So I believe it will be decided on track, unless Gunnanen's picked another penalty somewhere. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be close. Can Gunnanen clinging on. It's going to be really, really tight. The tyres will be crying their eyes out. They'll be lost for grip. They'll be near the canvas. How has he gone this long on those super soft tyres? He's done a superb job. But is he nearing the cliff as Nowak moves into position to try and complete the perfect afternoon, or evening I should say, here in Abu Dhabi for Toro Rosso? Lewis about a few miles, a few corners from a world title. Can he make it a 1-2 Nowak as he run down towards the braking zone? Gunnanen at the moment clinging on. Tao and France is doing battle as well. In a few moments time he will pick up Lewis. We'll just wait and see if Nowak has got any light lunge on Gunnanen on this final lap to try. Oh, Lewis picks up a penalty. That'll take the shine off it a little bit. Not that it'll bother him too much. Gunnanen had a little look and again defends well, and Nowak ain't going to do it. So let's go and pick up the champion in waiting, VSR Lewis. Well, he's had the most wins out of anyone this season. He's attended fewer races than his championship rival, Michael. So you have to say, if anyone deserves it, he does. Pistas won it last year, but this year it's going to be VSR Lewis. He runs wide off the circuit going into the final corner in celebration. The team await him. He heads for the start-finish line. VSR Lewis is the world champion. He has done it in style here in Abu Dhabi, under the lights. He wraps up the title in style with Michael not attending. What a brilliant result for him. Nowak just about beats Gunnanen at the end. Was that down to penalties? I think it was. So Nowak
it was, yes,
ahead of Gunnanen. Cliffy fourth, Francis fifth, and Tao. I need to watch this one. It's not finished yet. Tao's still trying to get past Francis. Is there any chance in the penultimate corner? What a defensive drive it's been from Francis, by the way. And he defends again on the inside into that final turn. And is there going to be any way? Oh, look how close it is to the line. But Francis brilliantly defends that. Applause for that. Great job. But Black Mamba, with fewer penalties, has somehow got himself up into fifth place. What a result that turned out for him. But we have to discuss Lewis. World champion, deserved it. What a drive.
Yeah, just a flawless performance from him tonight. Did exactly what he needed to do. He got pole position with the final run of the session, and then, you know, just led the race. He had a slight trouble with traffic, but he calmly dealt with it. Completely and utterly deserved World Championship win here today.
Well, there they are on the podium. Celebrations begin. VSR Lewis is the champion. He takes the award, he takes the acclaim of the support and his team, and he finally gets that world title. Great drive from him today. It's a shame we never had Michael to make it an all-time classic title battle on the final day, but still, you can't deny Lewis. He deserves that championship. As I've mentioned, won most races, attended fewer than his championship rival Michael, and he's come out on top. A great result for them, a great podium in the end for Toro Rosso, as Nowak completed the job to get second, as Gunnanen had that one extra penalty. He came home third. It was Cliffy with that awesome drive from 16th in the grid to 4th. We say that so often from him. Black Mamba, as a result of penalties around him, got up as high as 5th when the results were announced. VSR Francis, he was 6th. He still did a great job to defend from Tao and Lickle. Tao was 7th. General Mercedes was 8th. And Lickle was 9th in the end after that spin. And It's Me got the final point in the Haas car. Really enjoyed that race. Well done to VSR Lewis. He is a world champion. And you know what? I want to try and get him in here for a quick word. It would be good to hear from the new world champion, wouldn't it?
Broken, but we'll try it.
Okay, doke. We'll see if we can get Lewis in. If his mic's not broken, we'll have a word with him. But fantastic job from VSR Lewis to wrap up that title. It's been a long, hard season, a long slug, and he's been battling all season long with Michael, and finally he's come out on top. It's a shame, of course, with Michael not attending, because he was at the Hungarian Grand Prix today. It would have been a real classic battle, wouldn't it, if he was here to battle it out with Lewis. I would really have loved to have seen that. It would have been great action for us to watch, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been brilliant. But yeah, I think his mic is broken. I'll just confirm. But yeah, no, it was a really entertaining race. As Abu Dhabi always seems to provide on the game, if not in real life. So it's a weird quirk of the track, but it just seems to always close the field up. We get great racing.
Yep, absolutely, and the variation of strategy as well. Another thing that just added to the mix and made it such an exciting race. It was actually quite confusing at times to try and figure out the strategies with so many cars out of position and with different strategies at the start. And in the end, it was the likes of Cliffy who made it work, coming up through the field to 4th position. So I've got to ask you, who is your driver of the day? I mean, personally, it's tough. I'd probably go for Cliffy, coming from down in, 18th or 16th place or something like that, to bring it home 4th. So a good job from him. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think Cliffy would get driver of the day on that basis. But the day, it truly belongs to Lewis.
Yeah.
He did exactly what he needed to do, and he didn't settle, just scraping over the line. He wanted to, dominate the race, take the championship, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and we've seen that as well, of course, in his overtakes. When he was in that group of cars, he was hungry, he was desperate to get the moves done. It required a bit of bravery, and that's exactly what he did. So a great job from him, and as you say, dominant performance, and he wanted to do it in style, and that's precisely what he did.
Yep, he won't be joining.
Yep, okay, well that rounds it off. It's a shame we cannot get a word with our newly crowned champion here in ILR1. I'm sure he will be back next season on a brand new game, looking to win the title for the second time. I'm sure it'll be another tough season for him. And of course, like it is in real life Formula 1, rule changes, a long winter break with a lot of teams working on their cars that can often shuffle the order, and a brand new game, as we've mentioned, can do exactly that as well. So we kind of go in blind, don't we? It's going to be tough to see who will be the actual contenders.
Yeah, I often find the order for any sort of league season doesn't really establish itself until the following season, because it's going to be, I expect we'll see loads of different race winners in the first season of Iowa when we return.
Yep, and that means we've got plenty to look forward to, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the ILR1 action all season long, and I hope you look forward to it with us next season. And I'm delighted to announce that Gaming Ali Wanda will be with us next season, so it's going to be me and him working in the commentary box all next season long at half the usual time. I think the time's changing for next season. I can't quite remember. We'll have all the information soon, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to working with you, and it'll be a fun season, won't it?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be pretty busy with all the commentaries I have to do, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome, covering 2 of the biggest league setups on PS4, so yeah, can't wait for that.
Well, there you go. The season is over. That's the final word from me. That's the final word from yourself. It's been a pleasure to watch this all season long. There's been so much brilliant action throughout the field, and that is it for this season. We will rejoin you in around a month or two's time for the start of the brand new season on F1 2018. It's been a pleasure, it's been a great season, and that's it from us. Good night, and congratulations to our new champion, Lewis.